Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Splash Match with Willie Comic Rob. We've covered this week's X-Men books now, so I'm going to move on. Kick things off, we've got The Amazing Spider-Man number 42, continuing Gang War. So where we left off, the Beetle and the Rose were fighting over Harlem, while the Beetle's father, Tombstone, was dealing with the Rose's father, the Kingpin of Crime himself, Wilson Fisk, as well as a small army of Hellfire goons. That said, Tombstone had backup in the form of She-Hulk and Spider-Man. But the fight was paused so that Fisk could take a phone call. And a bunch of armored Hellfire goons stormed to where the Rose and Beetle were fighting in Harlem. And Kingpin declared things over. So Spider-Man asked what he means and what he did. And Fisk states that he saw to it that his son's battle with the Beetle came to its only acceptable conclusion. His. Tombstone assumes that means that the Kingpin had his daughter killed with a smirk on his face. And before Tombstone can attack him, as he does threaten to tear Fisk's throat out, She-Hulk stops him, pointing out that Kingpin's being evasive, vague. And to take it from a lawyer, there's something that Kingpin's not telling them. In Harlem, the Hellfire troops grabbed the Rose, having shot up Digger, and explained that the Rose is coming with them. One of them hands Beetle a cell phone. On the other end, calls from Fisk, and Tombstone asks her if she's okay, and Janice states that she thinks the Rose is off the board, and asks if he had anything to do with it, and he says that he didn't. He's glad that she's okay, and then he's got to go. And with that, Kingpin says, "Hey, okay, if you guys are satisfied, I'll go and take my leave." And Spider-Man's like, "You're still leave?" And Kingpin states that he has a new life now, a wife, sons. These wars, you have to be willing to give up everything, and he no longer is. The Fisks are sitting this out. And so Spider-Man points and says, "Why didn't you just say that?" And Fisk adds that the missus and he have been squabbling over some minor indiscretions. Mixing it up like old times allowed him to burn off some steam. And Kingpin states he's always respected Tombstone, and if Tombstone respects him, listen to what Kingpin's going to say. So that there was an attack on New York City, it was an attack on the Magia. Madame Mask has claimed their power, all of it, and told them to be careful. Though Spider-Man points out he thought Madame Mask was dead. In Harlem, Beetle's gang is trying to figure out what they're going to do now, but apparently Scorpion's tail is fried. Lady Octopus is missing a few limbs, so they're on the ropes. And Electro points out they're right. They need some time to look at their wounds. But Beetle points out what happened. They have Harlem, the territory, the troops, everything above the park is theirs. Not even Tombstone could do that. But White Rabbit asks, "What about Mask?" Beetle says she wants everything. The Mask wants everything. It might take her a bit longer to shore up downtown, but she'll come for them. And they realize that also that Digger's still there, and so... And he asks where the rose is, and Beale points out that he left and abandoned Digger even. And so White Rabbit asks if Digger needs a job. But Mask learns that it wasn't the Rose that won Harlem, but rather the Beetle. Consolidated everything above 1/10, and as this is why the agency was worried about her, and why the bosses had her profiled. Though he apparently Shotgun was sent to kill Madame Mask, but his sigil is fading. As she's walked in the worlds of both technology and magic, and claims to have mastered both, she's able to reinforce his sigil of loyalty. And she adds that the only enemies she leaves breathing are those who serve her purpose. On the Upper East, Luke Cage on the Upper East Side dealing with some robots, and Spider-Man fills him in on what happened. Cage states that Madame Mask has intel that Madame Mask is talking to the AIM agents who didn't get got when Spidey took down Crime Master. She's been spotted recently in Hell's Kitchen, and before that she was circling both the financial district and Lower East Side like a vulture. But Luke's too busy to join them. So in Harlem, Beetle returns to her hideout, find Madame Mask waiting. Apparently, Madame Mask and Beetle's maps are very optimistic, and so the two of them talk. Janice points out that Harlem belongs to her now, though Madame Mask says that's very much up for debate. But the idea is that Madame Mask is to try and negotiate Janice handing over Harlem. It's not going to happen. But Madame Mask talks about her father and adds that, honestly, and Janice backs up that, yeah, her and Tombstone and Count Nefario have some similarities. And so the final battle is set. Central Park, dawn. But Madame Mask leaves some parting words, saying that their fathers love them so poorly because when they look at Madame Mask and Beale, they only see themselves. And Mask tells Janice to be careful. But She-Hulk suggests that her and Spidey call in the reserves because, you know, with Spidey adding that the gangs didn't make war on each other, they made war on his city. You know, they shot his friend. He didn't care how many people that they've got. They're about to have a very bad day. Central Park, the sides are getting ready. Rabble is helping out on behalf of Hobgoblin. Janice and her crew, you know, they're ready for a fight. And the issue ends with Janice stating, "It's game time." Whew. Things be interesting to see how things all play out. I figure a lot of internal squabbling on Madame Mask's side, and that's probably going to end up giving Beetle the win. We'll find out though. Moving on to our next book, we've got Gang War Jackpot, #1. This is a one-shot. So recently, with the help of her partner Paul, Mary Jane has been able to has a degree of luck-based superpowers. The actuator on her wrist is kind of like a slot machine. Pulls the lever and, gets powers based on the result. Recently, after MJ and Paul's kids were shown to be constructs and vanished, Black Cat brought her something to maybe help cheer her up, a potential outfit to wear with the Jackpot powers. So the issue opens with Jackpot facing Electro. Electro basically drains the energy from the electricity from MJ's gauntlet. Earlier that day, MJ and Paul were in therapy. Paul did the therapy assignment, but MJ's kind of processing, and she's also stating she's been finding it difficult to put her fears down on the page. It's almost like writing them down gives them more power. And she'll try and get through the questions for the journal assignment over the course of the week. Turns out, next to the counselor's office is a pub, and so MJ and Paul check it out, and apparently, bartender's the bartender's special concoction is absolutely horrible. However, shortly after Paul tries and spits out his shot, there's an explosion. Gang wars hit. MJ does what she can to get people out while innocent people out of the way, while Paul makes a distraction. And so MJ suits up, heads out, and helps Spider-Man with Armadillo. I don't like that they basically made Armadillo back into a villain, but while She-Hulk is dealing with Man-Bull. But they managed to take down the menagerie. Then Electro shows up. She was going to take care of the menagerie herself, but instead her and Jackpot fight. Electro gets supercharged, and so MJ has a plan. Overload Electro. And so Electro and MJ fight it out, but Electro realizes that it's a bit of a trap and blasts the support on one of the bridges. And so, rather than continue trying to bring in Electro, MJ goes and doesn't she save the bridge? But she gets an assist from Spider-Man and She-Hulk. And should be noted, She-Hulk has given MJ her card, kind of a, hey, if you need it, But Spider-Man points out they're gathering troops for the big final push. If MJ can get her gauntlet fixed up, they could use all the help they can get. And so as she's heading home. The issue is with her heading with MJ heading home, and but she hears someone call for help. But this is just the one shot. There's an upcoming Jackpot and Black Cat miniseries that will likely continue things. So, but this was fun. I liked it, and it's nice to see. I like MJ. I like MJ. You know, venturing into becoming an actual. Being a superhero. I remember it was. If I remember correctly, she kind of sort of was going to play one in a movie that was going to be that she was working on in the Mary Jane book a few years ago during Nick Spencer's Amazing Spider-Man run. But that fell through, I would assume, because of Mysterio's involvement. So, kind of cool to see her actually being a superhero. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Miguel O'Hara's Spider-Man, 2099, number 3. So, Miguel has dealt with a quasi-zombie outbreak and faced off against Dracula and sent him to what is now considered to be the vampire homeworld. So now we deal with Werewolf by Night, 2099. So the issue opens in the outer district of Nova Atlantia. Our werewolf is fighting off some Atlantean soldiers, and he's apparently on a time clock for meds, though. But he got some Iosium sample for his employers, and as he was 3 minutes late, he has to wait 3 additional minutes to get the medication he needs. Elsewhere, Miguel is at the Hollow Gym as Spider-Man, fighting the other Spider-Mans. Scarlet Spider, Black Suit Peter. Looks like we've got a version of Kane, and we've also got a version of Miles. Which everyone made the idea that Spider-Man is, iconic. Everyone wants to be Spider-Man, so no one thinks anything of him using the Hollow Gym to hollow avatar himself as Spidey 2099. Just a fanboy getting his workout on, But Lila informed him that there's a standoff at Cobalt Chemical. Atlantean soldiers claim that Cobalt's been raiding their mines. Miguel points out that Cobalt are thieves. They'll defend their loot with extreme prejudice, so time to head out. But when Spidey shows up, one of the Atlantean soldiers tries to do the drop on Spidey, but Cobalt's Resident Werewolf stops it, and then werewolfs out, attacks the Atlanteans. Then Spidey gives him grief, but his employers are told to engage to take on Spider-Man. But we learn more of Russoff's past. He apparently killed his team and what was said with Silver Lancets. Cobalt Chemicals saved him. That said, they want Spider-Man because his DNA is an R&D gold mine. But back at his home in the Skyrise district, Russoff isn't happy. He knows what he's doing is wrong. But Spider-Man shows up. They duke it out. Russoff wolfs out. And it turns out that Lila has got into Cobalt's mainframe, and including getting Russoff's file. Also returning everything that Cobalt's stolen. Turns out that Cobalt made it so that Creighton Russoff, that's his first name, When he first transformed, nothing bad happened. But to keep everyone quiet, Cobalt killed the team, blamed it on Russoff. He had no memory of what he did when he was in his wolf form, after all, and they were the ones that gave him the silver poisoning. And so he basically turns, after basically getting an ally out of the whole thing, Russoff heads off to deal with his former employers. And that is where the issue ends. Good issue, good issue. I'm digging this miniseries. Fun little weekly book. That I do find it interesting, though, this being the legacy 100th issue of Spider-Man 2099, that there's nothing special about it. Just, this is a regular length issue. Kind of sad. I mean, it's the only 2099 book that hit 100 issues, so yeah. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we've got White Widow, number 3. Where we left off, Yelena was dealing with a mega corporation called Armament that appeared to be operating quite a bit and making a lot of moves on the small upstate New York town she lives in, Idlehaven. So the issue begins not long ago with Yelena fighting She-Hulk. She-Hulk figures, oh, well, Yelena must be here to kill me. And like, no, don't say kill. Say assassin. It sounds so much more glamorous that way. You sound important. It makes you sound important. It makes you sound important, because only important will get assassinated. But another attorney from another firm that is in the same building comes down needing to talk to Jen about deposition notes. But Yelena explains that her target is a man named Proximo Best. Turns out that the deposition that the attorney that's there for the deposition notes is representing Best in a suit against the company owned by Maximo's father. It seems that she didn't manage to kill Proximo. In the present, she is infiltrating the armament building. We get a slight recap. Armament has she's been getting involved with the local community with assassins targeting her neighbor's candy store. Getting to know her neighbors when assassins targeted her condominium complex. Getting evicted by a mega corporation that seems to be taking over the entire town. Well, Shady Corporation evicts them for fighting a set of assassins. Breaking into Shady Corporation's building to kill the person responsible for the things she dislikes. Well, that's something she loves. So she destroys the records. Now she's got to find the CEO to, basically just get rid of the person that wanted the records kept in the first place. That said, she's got 2 new robot knives, which she calls the Widow's Fangs. One is a sting, delivers a potent electric shock even when it's lodged in flesh or bone, like getting tased from the inside. The other one delivers the bite delivers a deadly toxin, and a dosage controlled by the button on the base of the pommel, kind of like a spider biting you. Loves her new weapons. But she finds the CEO, and it turns out he's just a robot giving all the usual corporate speak. We're more than a business. We're a family. Blah blah blah. The same shit you hear from your employer when they're trying to tell you why maybe hours are getting cut. Because, well, we have to take care of everyone. That way we can give everyone the hours they need when they honestly can just do it without any change. Oh, but maybe the bottom line might take a hit. Oh, no! But when she returns to Idlehaven, though, turns out that one of her neighbors, Rowan, is working for Armament. He's getting treated for myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. But 3 Armament assassins show up and attack both him and Yelena. One of them turns out to be Yelena's former student, Baxter. She takes down the assassins pretty easily. And basically, Armament gave her a prosthetic leg, and she's going to work for like a few years to pay back the cost of the new gear medical care. And then but Yelena points out that she knows that Armament's CEO is just a public face and that nothing more. But Baxter ends up dropping the name of the CEO, Renata, and her leg initiates self-destruct, and the release mechanism isn't working, so Baxter gets killed. A rather large explosion. And so now, well, Yelena says she officially has a job. That job is revenge. And that is where the issue ends. I'm digging this book. Especially the whole idea of the narrative device of having Yelena listing off the things she loves, likes, tolerates, dislikes, and hates. Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Patreon, PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.